Welcome back, adventurers. It's been a while since our last dive into the world of tabletop role-playing, but today we're back with a bang. I've got some fresh NPC and character ideas that you can use in your next game to spice things up. Whether you're a seasoned game master or a newbie looking for inspiration, these characters are sure to bring some excitement to your campaigns. Let's get into it. Imagine this one, a Toral Wizard. Picture a turtle who has spent centuries studying the arcane arts. His slow, deliberate movements mirror the careful consideration he gives to every spell. Maybe he's a guardian of ancient knowledge, or a mentor to a younger wizard. Imagine him teaching your party the secrets of time magic, and his shell covered in mystical ruins. He could have like a Master Oogway vibe from Kung Fu Panda. I don't really have a plot hook or a way that you could introduce this character, but I've always wanted to play like this ancient, wise kind of sage, and I don't think any race quite sells it as good as a turtle. Alright, next up, Crackles the Kobold. He's a wild magic sorcerer, okay? Crackles is small but mighty, with spells that are as unpredictable as they are powerful. One moment he's casting Fireball, the next he's turning everyone blue. His chaotic magic could add a lot of excitement and danger to any encounter. Perhaps your party finds him in the aftermath of one of his magical mishaps, needing help to control his powers. Every time he casts a spell, there's a chance something unexpected happens. Maybe fireworks explode, or a random object turns into a chicken. Crackles is a wild card, adding a layer of chaos and fun to any party. You could really lean into it and make every spell he casts do something crazy. Maybe some things not even on the wild magic table to add that extra surprise factor to him. One way you could introduce him is the party stumbles upon Crackles being chased by a group of angry villagers. It turns out his wild magic accidentally set the village's crops on fire, and he needs the party's help to make amends. This next one has a real soft spot in my heart, for it's something that I really want to try to either play or add to one of my campaigns. The idea behind this is it's a divination wizard that has a unique way of seeing the future. He reads the foam in his beer, alright? So he's a regular at the local tavern where he offers his services in exchange for a pint. Despite his unorthodox methods, his predictions are eerily accurate. Maybe he's the owner of the tavern, and this is his way he gets customers to come in. Additionally, he could give out a portent die to the players. For those who are unfamiliar, a portent die is basically a recorded dice roll that you can swap with another roll of your choice. For example, let's say you are letting this beer wizard give the party a prophecy. You could roll a d20 and come up with an outcome for the prophecy based on the roll. So like a low roll could be something bad, a high roll could be something good, a medium could be an average and mundane. You record that roll, then at some point you could swap any roll with that recorded roll or let the party decide when to use it. A good plot hook for this character is the party needs to find a lost artifact, and the only clue lies in this cryptic message found in the foam of the wizard's ale. They must decipher his drunk ramblings and follow the leads. This next one's inspired by one of my favorite Nintendo 64 games. You're a Squirrel Folk that wields a frying pan like a sword. Hailing from the mystical Yggdrasil tree, the World Tree, this squirrel named Banjo is either clumsy or got drunk and fell off of the World Tree. A good hook for this is the party is traveling to their next destination when a Squirrel Folk with a frying pan falls out of the sky and hits the ground really hard. Now, if this was a normal-sized squirrel, it could likely survive a fall from anything. But for the sake of fantasy, we'll say that the Squirrel Folk is about halfling or goblin sized, and he survived the fall because physics just apply to them different. Part of the adventure could be trying to get the Squirrel Folk back to Yggdrasil, or taking this Squirrel Folk along on your adventures. That'd be a hell of a character introduction. Yeah, I fell from the sky. Alright, for this next one, I feel like it's been done a lot in different fantasies, but imagine you're a warlock whose soul is bound to a sentient sword, or you're a warlock who is a sentient sword. This character can possess different hosts, moving from one body to another. They could be an ally or a formidable foe, depending on their motives and how the party reacts to them. Through the party's travels, they could meet different strangers that recognize them or have memories, but the party doesn't remember these characters at all. It could be that the only hint that the party gets is all of these strangers that know them, almost on a personal level, all were holding or wielding the same sword. Piggybacking on that idea, another idea for a character is a skeleton in a black cape and cloak, wielding an ancient cursed spear. This character could take control of other undead by exposing their corpses to his spear. Well, that sounded awful. He could also possess other skeletal bodies and become like a reoccurring anti-hero or villain, driven by his own mysterious agenda. Much like the last example where you're kind of inside of an item possessing bodies, this could be almost a tool for the party. Maybe they acquired his spear, and he can only take over undead, and they might need him to clear a dungeon or do a task for them. This item you could give to a fallen adventurer's corpse in a dungeon and tell him to stand guard or go search a room. A plot hook for him is the party encounters Black Spear in a dungeon filled with undead. Surprisingly, he's fighting these other skeletons and zombies. He seems to be seeking the same artifact as the party and proposes an uneasy alliance to achieve their mutual goal. Alright, for this next one, I have 2 words for you. Rust Dragon. Imagine a fearsome dragon with a breath attack that corrodes metal much like a rust monster. This creature could be a formidable adversary, especially for a party reliant on metal weapons and armor. This dragon could also be a complete nightmare to other dragons, simply because this dragon could rust a majority of their gold and treasure with ease. A good plot hook for this is the party is hired to investigate a series of attacks on caravans that are transporting like precious metals and things of that nature. They discover that a rust dragon is behind the attack and must find a way to defeat it without losing all of their gear. Now this next one is more of a big bad evil end game rather than just your run-of-the-mill average NPC, but I've always been wanting to run more of a political campaign, something that has to do with politics and war and profits and corruption. And one such character that's really inspired that is Swain from League of Legends. This war mage is a master of both politics and arcane warfare. He manipulates events from the shadows using his magic to influence outcomes in his favor. One such hook you could use is the party is caught in a web of political intrigue and must navigate the war and all of his schemes in order to uncover the truth and maybe prevent a larger conflict. On that same note, following the League of Legends segue, I've always thought of an anti-necromancer. Maybe you could play this as a character, or you have this NPC who is like this spiritual warrior, kind of based on Yorick from League of Legends. They could be dedicated to protecting the dead and laying restless spirits to rest. This NPC or character could be a cleric, a paladin, a druid, driven by personal tragedy involving undead. They could carry holy relics or special artifacts like a special shovel that dispels necromancy with ease. One plot hook could be the party encounters the anti-necromancer while investigating a haunted battlefield. Together they must put an end to the necromancer responsible for raising all of these dead. You know what's underused? Genasi. You know it's even more underused than that, the 80s Grease kind of bad boy character. I was thinking of a Fire Genasi bad boy with his hellhounds. This character, perhaps named Grease, exudes like an 80s rebel vibe. With flaming hair and a leather jacket, he and his fiery pets could be enforcers for a local crime lord, or guardians of a dangerous secret. His cool demeanor and fiery powers make him a memorable encounter, whether he's an ally or an adversary. One hook you could use would be the party needs help dealing with a rogue elemental, and Grease is the only one with the knowledge to defeat it. Alright, think of a neutral or good lich. Alright, got this image in your mind? It doesn't have to be a lich, it could be someone else who found the secrets to immortality, but I think a lich is my preferred method for this next prompt. So there's this lich who found an ethical way to achieve immortality. He isn't evil or suspicious, just incredibly focused on completing his life's work. He never had enough time in life, maybe he got hit with a sickness and he had to discover how to become immortal just so he could finish his purpose. This NPC is a perfect red herring paranoid parties. Here's an example of a plot hook. The party is convinced the lich is up to no good, and launches an investigation only to find out he donates gold to orphanages and helps the needy. Their constant harassment might even drive him to become evil. Alright, this last one might take a particular party to pull off, but if it works for you, I would love to hear how this goes. Think of an ancient and forgotten nature god, living in the forest, just wandering. Though her appearance is terrifying, like eldritch or Wiccan or just antlers and misshapen, she means no harm. She was once worshipped, but has since been forgotten by the world. One plot hook you could use is the party stumbles upon the old god's domain, and must decide whether to help restore her forgotten legacy or leave her to her solitude. There could be a massive language barrier to overcome here, a massive difference in perceptions. It could be a fun encounter or a long-term mission to try and help her and communicate with her and learn more about her. And there you have it. That was 12 unique NPC or character ideas to bring new life to your games. Whether you use them as allies, adversaries, or something in between, these characters are sure to add some depth and excitement. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more tabletop role-playing content. And I also wanted to say, if you guys end up using any of these characters, or if you guys have similar characters, or characters that you just want to talk about that you think are really interesting, I would love to see them down in the comments. Until next time, happy adventuring.